Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a really long time, like a really long time, but this piece I wanted to show you guys is a commission that I did back in May. It is an 18 by 36 deep edge canvas. So let me tell you the colors and we'll get into it and then we'll chat a bit more. So my colors are mint, a custom Delft blue, a Prussian blue, and then the TLPs are Ballgown, Prehnite, and Waterfall. And then I also have my cell activator, which is Paynes Grey and Australian Floetrol. This base coat is PPG Multipro. I believe I have it in eggshell. I'll double check and put everything into the description box below. Okay, so triple blooms. I love triple blooms on elongated canvases. And my client, who I've done multiple pieces for before, yeah. She actually, I did some like a triple cloud pour on rounds that I did a while ago. So on this big piece, this is my largest triple bloom to date. But like I said, I love this. And this is really what she wanted for her, just right inside her front door. So her entryway. And she wanted these kind of delft blue, watery, peaceful colors. And we definitely decided that the triple bloom would be the best option. So yeah, this first color down is that what we're calling a delft blue. So it is a custom color. So I mixed some phthalo blues with some ultramarine and really tried to nail down the color that we wanted. So in triple blooms, I kind of think about, where I want these blooms to be, and then I make my little puddles. So the next color down is the waterfall, which I think is just it's a perfect color for this. We went through a lot of color palettes, but ended up on this one. And also layering is a big deal in blooms. So you could layer all these colors I'm using a different way and get a completely different result. So next color up, sorry about that noise. The next color up is Prehnite. She wanted some pale sagey greens, and I thought this was the perfect option. Prehnite is absolutely gorgeous. I'm really not a huge green fan, but after doing this piece, I realized that Prehnite is one of my favorites of TLP. What am I gonna do now? I'm sure I'm fussing with something right here. Okay. Okay, so next up is gonna be a Prussian blue. Just a little bit of that. And this video is a little longer than my normal videos. I tried to speed up some of it, but I think it maxes out at like 18 minutes, I think. So actually not that much longer. So then, yeah, so this is the Prussian blue. And I am on the floor right now, leaning over my doggy pool. And this canvas barely fits in my doggy pool to spin. So, later you'll see what I have to do. So this right here is Ballgown. She definitely wanted a little bit of gold, and I thought this would be perfect. When the sun comes in the morning, it would kind of flash, but just gently. Nothing, too vibrant. And then we are going to end our puddle colors with this, I believe it is called Mint, and it is actually by Lucas. So most of my colors are golden. I'm not sorry, not golden, are Amsterdam. And then this one is Lucas. which is just, this is an opaque color as well. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're blooming, where you put your opaques. I think putting an opaque on the top, but not a lot. You know, you just drizzle that opaque on there. It can give some really beautiful cells right underneath your cell activator. So this is Paynes Grey. This Paynes Grey is by Amsterdam Cell Activator, and I mixed it with Australian Floetrol. So here is my hair dryer. Now, I haven't done a bloom in a hot minute. I actually did a few more before this, some triple blooms. So what I'm going to do with this is kind of blow it out just a little bit with the hair dryer, and then I go in and mouth blow a lot. So you're going to see the top of my head. I hope that's not annoying, but this is just how I do it. Now, this was a really large piece, like I said, so I'm really having to lean over this dog pool. So I could have thought out this process a little bit better on how much I had to lean over this piece. So, and also too, when I do my triple blooms, I always start with the center bloom. So I do all the puddles, and then I work on the center bloom. So I lay down the cell activator, and then I go to the other blooms on each side, the other puddles, and lay down the cell activator. So one at a time basically is how I do it, because all these, that center bloom right there, which looks kind of wonky, you might think, gosh, oh, that's not great. But, you know, it gets modified quite a bit when you blow out your other blooms. So I'm just going to kind of let you guys watch this. I do speed up, I believe, the third bloom doing it. I definitely need to practice because, like I said, I hadn't done the large ones in a while. So my hair dryer skills were just slightly lacking here. So, but anyway, I'm going to let you guys watch for a few minutes. Like I said, it will speed up at some point. I might even do it a little sooner. So here's me just building the bloom. This is just how I do my blooms and the petals and all that stuff. Okay, I'll be back shortly. All right, guys, I wanted to pop back in. I think when you use house paint base, it was really hot in Louisiana, so I always add a little bit more paint base around the outsides of the blooms before I spin. And you always want to check and make sure you kind of smush out the edges of your paint so you don't get that line. Yeah, it just, it just helps. So right now I'm like, all right, we're a little bit off center, and that was fine by me. I wanted a little bit of negative space at one edge, somewhere for the eye to rest, because these triple blooms can be there's just a lot of movement. And so right now, I'm starting these, spins, and as you can see in the pool, like, there's no real room for me to go anywhere. And, house paint is so stretchy and sticky, and and then just trying to deal with this size. So hindsight's 2020, and I should have known better that I was going to need to move this canvas around on the spinner itself, that it wouldn't fit in my in my pool. So this is just, if you ever want to go big, do what you can. And I think it is important also to note, the larger the piece, the slower you want to spin. And you also want the consistency of your paints to be more, to be on the thicker side. It just kind of ensures that everything holds and it's not going to get, wonky. So really this is just, me, there we go, putting it on the floor. So you guys, this was hysterical. So I'm like, oh God, I don't have anything on my floor. I didn't, like I said, plan on having to take this out on the floor. I think I thought of it at some point, but then I was like, no, it'll be fine. But then when I realized I wanted, a little bit of white space at one end, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sure I'm going to need to position this canvas a little bit on my spinner. And so I turned off the camera. Quickly, I went and got some extra tablecloths. And of course, I only had black and white, not all black, not all white, and put them down on the ground quickly. But then I had to lift this piece off or out of the dog pool and then on top of all these things. And then on top of that, I totally forgot to shut my blinds. So I apologize for the, the reflection from my window. It's literally right behind me, but hopefully it doesn't annoy you guys too bad. So these larger pieces, you got to make sure you get enough paint off, and you have to be really careful when you spin that you don't go too fast. You want to keep it slow, so it can take a hot minute. And so for me, I knew I had to keep spinning. I was looking at the piece, just kind of making sure I liked where we were going. That top bloom, which is closest to me, kind of spilled over the side, which I absolutely like. That's fine. Okay, here I'm speeding up the spinning a little bit because there's just a lot of me looking and doing little, just tweaking where the canvas is and making sure it is still on the spinner as well. Because as I said, that base paint is very stretchy and slick and stringy, and as you can see, the piece is kind of migrated a little on the spinner. So that's why I'm like, okay, gotta bring it back. Have to make sure, it's in the proper position. I feel like I'm talking a lot. It's probably because I haven't done this in a hot minute for you guys. Anyway, I hope this is helpful for you guys wanting to do larger pieces. Just go for it. Just know that it's messy. Messy Marvin, like Lisa Marvin, right? It's messy to go large. It's messy to go small, but to go large, just really think it out. Don't do what I did and forget to lay down an alternate space just in case, you needed it. So you don't want to do it in the midst of the painting, in the middle of painting. So yeah, guys, I'm just continuing to stretch this. And, Usually you kind of pick up the painting or tilt it to see how far your center is going or how fast it's moving. You don't want that center where a lot of the weight is to be moving very fast. Come on, get in here. Sorry, my dog is like wanting to come in and out of the bedroom and he keeps scratching the door. Okay, so now I'm at the point where I'm pretty happy with it. I'm just kind of looking and making sure there's no hairs. I go and grab a straw and kind of see if there's an area that will move a little bit if I use the straw. I wouldn't recommend this after you've spun the piece out because this is where your paint is the thinnest. So I recommend doing that earlier in the piece, but yeah, I went in. And this is also kind of a good test to see like, okay, how thick is the paint actually there? If you're having a hard time seeing it move, it's kind of a good thing. But anyway, this piece is done. So here comes the details. Some of the cells in this, oh, absolutely love it. Absolutely love, 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 love. I think the colors all work really well. You know, being a triple bloom, your blooms aren't going to be, perfect, right? And spacing in between your puddles is really imperative. And, just some things I was remembering as I was painting this. Now, this last bloom on the bottom is my absolute favorite. And I feel like it's kind of a really good focal point. Love all the colors. It's just really, I don't know. I just love these blues. They're vibrant, but yet there's the softness of the other colors. So yeah, you guys, here comes some dried images. Let me know what you think of this 18 by 36 triple bloom. And I'll show you more images later. And yeah, let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.